welcome to this course. Basically, what I have for you guys, this is part two of our case study. Basically, what we're going to be doing today for you guys is a dual part course where I'm working with a coaching student whose concerns or wanted an exact blueprint to go to $50 to $100 per day online. Sherman, say what's going on.
Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome, awesome. Can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, your experience online so far?
Hi, my name is Shariman. I've been doing pretty much on my own since 2011 when I joined the Warrior Forum. But I've wasted about 4 years of my time and a lot of money by doing by buying all the shiny objects out there. And until sometimes last year, I realized that I need someone to coach me. So here I am with Ryan.
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome, my friend. Okay, for those of you guys who are watching, again, this is going to be Sherman's product. So I want you guys to understand a few things. There's a lot of people who are exactly where Sherman is right now. You've probably been online for a long time and you're looking for a solid way to actually start making some real decent income. So the first thing I would suggest to you guys is pay attention to this game plan that I share for Sherman. Use it and apply it for your own business. When Sherman came to me, basically his question was, how did he get started from scratch? He had done previous businesses before, but he just wanted a fresh start, right? So he wants to start from scratch and get up to consistently earning $50 to $100 per day because in the country he's in, for him to make $50 to $100 per day is actually like a lot of money, right? And again, for those of you guys who are watching and maybe you live in the U.S., you may be thinking $50 to $100 per day online is not a lot. But again, I will promise you 98%, maybe 97% of people are not making $50 to $100 per day online. I can promise you that. I've coached so many people, and I know this for a fact. A lot of people are not making that online. So what I want to do is lay out a blueprint for getting there in on what I think is the fastest time possible. So basically, I'm going to walk Sherman through that. So again, like we shared in the beginning of our video where you guys got to see the insides of our conversation that we were having, I explained to Sherman that I believe that product creation is the fastest way to get to your immediate goal. Now, the biggest concern that most people have with product creation is they feel that if they're not the expert, that they can't create a product, right? And this should be proof to you guys who are watching this course and who have paid for this course that you don't necessarily need to be an expert to create a course, right? So this is Sherman's product, but I'm basically doing all the heavy lifting for it, right? And I'm going to explain why, or how you can go about and find other experts to basically help you do the heavy lifting for you in your first product that you create. So again, our game plan to get you to $50 to $100 per day, Sherman, is going to be through product creation. So we're going to create some products so that you can start getting cash flow, which is the most important thing to your business survival, is getting cash flow coming into your business every single day. Now, you found me on the Warrior Forum. So what we're actually going to start is we're going to place this product that we're creating right now on the Warrior Forum. We're going to start to sell it. And we're going to get up to the $50 to $100 per day over time, right? So basically, again, I'm going to explain this blueprint to you today. So the first thing that we want to do or even consider when we start the product creation journey is that we want to solve a problem, right? Because that's what we're really getting paid to do as a product creator, right? So a lot of people struggle with like, what is my product going to talk about? What am I going to say in my product? How do I put all this together? The first thing that I think that everybody should start with is solving one single problem, right? So for you, obviously, Sherman, your problem or your concern is, how do I make this happen? How do I get to the, $50 to $100 per day, step by step, right? So with this product, with everyone who purchases this product, I'm going to assume that, this may be a problem for them as well, right? So you see how, even the structure of this product is we're starting with the root element, which is solving a specific problem, right? So your first product, when you're coming with the idea, you want to solve a problem. Now, also with your first product, where most people kind of get into this situation where they start to overanalyze and overcomplicate the process, is because they're actually going about trying to make their product too complicated, when your first product should solve one single problem, right? So in this course, we're only really addressing one specific thing, and that's how to get to $50 to $100 per day, right? There might be other components that we talk about, but the majority of this course is going to be talking about how to get to $50 to $100 per day, right? So it might have multiple steps on how to do it, but it's all to solve this one specific problem. Does that make sense?
Yes. Right.
All right, cool. All right, so again, our first product, we're going to solve a single problem. So again, if you're watching this course and you're taking this, maybe you're thinking like, well, if I don't know anything, how do I solve a problem, right? So one of the easiest ways that you can go about creating your first product is interviewing an expert. So again, this course is similar to like an interview, except I'm just basically, instead of you asking me questions, Sherman, I'm just doing all of the explaining, right? So in most cases, it's probably not going to go exactly like that, but you can always find experts no matter what niche market that you go into. Let's say if you wanted to create a product on real estate investing, right? There's a ton of people who are experts on real estate investing. And maybe these people have courses that they want to sell. Maybe these people, just like to talk because they're an expert. So there's always ways to find people who are experts in a specific field. And all you need to do is simply ask them questions, right? So let's say that you wanted to interview someone, again, like let's say for real estate example, you wanted to find someone who's an expert in the field. So basically you do some research online. You figure out and find someone who's actually having success in there, in that field. And you basically say, hey, I see that you're having a lot of success. I have a customer list, or I have a list of subscribers who would be interested in hearing more about what exactly it is you do. Would you mind if I interviewed you? And you can feel free to share the recordings with your group or your audience, right? So you're making this interview process seem mutually beneficial, right? So it has to make sense for the person that you're interviewing. Right, because obviously, if you're interviewing someone who's an expert, they might be busy, they may have other stuff going on. So the key to getting the interview nailed is making it mutually beneficial. Right. So for me, how this benefits me by putting this course together is because I get to create a course today. Right. I wasn't exactly planning on creating a course today. But I'm creating a course today with you, right? And this can go as a case study in a product that I'm creating, or I can use this and leverage this training for other material and make money from that, right? So this is why it's mutually beneficial for me and for those who are in the audience who are wondering, why am I doing this with you, right? So interview an expert, right? That's the easiest way, right? Or if you are an expert yourself, or you've learned a specific skill set, basically you can just share the skill set that you learned, right? So those are the first two types of products that I would say are the easiest to create is sharing an experience like you've created in your business. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be business because it could be outside of business. But sharing an experience that you created, like let's say that you are a person who knits or you sew, right? And you have a sewing technique that works really well. Again, you're not necessarily making that a business, so it's not pertaining to a business. However, you're sharing an experience that you've learned or a skill set that you've learned and acquired, right? So those are the two simplest products that you can create. So now the next step in this whole process would be like, whoa, okay, if you're going to interview an expert or you're going um, to sharing your experience on maybe something you've done. Let's say that you've gone out and you've gone out and you've done solo ads in the internet marketing community. I know, Sherman, that you said yourself you've built a list of over 6,000 people through
Yeah.
solo ads. So that could be something that you share or document, right? So you document the process of how you were able to go out and build a list of 6,000 subscribers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's about sharing an experience that you created, right? So now the question is, how do you package the content, right? How do you put it together where the audience can receive the product, right? So I would say in today's age, we're shooting this in 2015. I would say that the two easiest ways or formats to deliver your product is through audio
Okay.
or video. Now, with audio, there are a couple easy solutions. So we're going to talk about audio for a second. So let's just say if we wanted to create an audio product, like an MP3 or some type of download that people can listen to, or a CD, right? There's a couple different ways that we can actually facilitate um, putting this interview or you sharing your experience onto audio format. The easiest way that I found is simply just picking up your smartphone and going to freeconferencecall.com. And basically, they'll give you a number to dial into um, as a moderator. And then you basically jump on there. Let's say if you're interviewing someone, you give them the access code to jump on the line with you. And then you're just going to ask them the questions, right? And freeconferencecall.com will record that conversation. And at the end of that conversation, once you're done with the recording, it will give you an MP3 file or a direct download link that you can use to send to your customers who purchase the product, right? And then obviously with the MP3 file, you can do crazy stuff and like turn this into a CD, or you know what I mean. You can turn it into a
Yes.
physical product. There's a bunch of different things that you can do with it. Another solution out there to record audio that I've used, actually when I created my very first product, was I use a platform called InstantTeleseminar.com. And I interviewed an expert. I interviewed my mentor, someone who was making millions of dollars online every year. And so it was kind of like the same situation we were in, where I had paid into getting coaching from this person. And basically, what I asked him to do is, instead of having a coaching session on one of our days, was could I interview this person and turn that into a product? So basically, what I used was InstantTeleseminar.com. With FreeConferenceCall.com, it's free. With InstantTeleseminar.com, it's you can start with a $1 trial, and that's good for 21 days. And I can't remember the exact amount that it rebills at. I think it's like $27 or $37 a month, but it's definitely worth it, right? So. All right, so those are the two easiest ways for audio. Now for video, and Sherman, can I ask you to mute out your side for 1 second? Because there's a lot of background noise. I want to make sure that this is a clean recording.
Hello?
Yeah. Could you mute your microphone for a second?
Okay, one moment.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure that the video comes out right, that everybody gets the most amount of value out of this. So again, if you have something to say, you obviously unmute yourself at any time. So the next, or if you have any questions, then stop me again, because this is going to be interactive too. The next format that you can produce your product is in video format. Um, with Also, I forgot to add. Obviously, you can use your smartphone. Most smartphones have apps where you can call in or record yourself, right? And it'll give you an MP3 file that you can download, right? So using your smartphone, there's free softwares that you can download depending on what type of computer you're on. There's a program called Audacity that'll let you record, and if you're on a Mac, I've used a program called GarageBand, and I simply record into that, and that pretty much comes standard on most Macintosh computers. For video, um, this can be as simple as putting your smartphone on a tripod, right, and recording yourself speak. Let's say if you're going to teach on a trainer on a subject, it can be as simple as that. Recording your video straight to your smartphone. Put your phone on a tripod so it's steady, records the information. Obviously, if you're interviewing an expert, you can do the same thing. Put the smartphone on a tripod and record. As far as solutions that I use, you can also do something like screen share. So basically, like this course that we're creating right now, I'm showing you guys. I'm recording my screen. There's two softwares that I recommend. No matter if you're on a Mac, I recommend ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow is $99. There's also a software called Camtasia that works on both Windows and Mac, and it's around $300. However, they have a 30-day, or actually a 30-use free trial, right? Which is killer, because basically with Camtasia, you can use it for 30 different times. So 30 different days, and they don't have to be sequential. Like most trials, if you start them, let's say you start them today, which is Wednesday, then they count down from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on and on, right? Until you reach your 30 days. With Camtasia, it's going to count the number of times that you actually log into the software. So, I mean, you could have this 30-day free trial for a year if you're only using it, when you know that you're going to record a product, right? Also, I've used solutions like GoToWebinar and GoToMeeting. Both of these platforms are free to start. They don't even require a credit card anymore to get started with them. So here are 4 different options that you have as far as like what type of format, when you, as far as how to put your product into what type of format you're going to use, right? So here are the options that you have for audio. Here are the different options that you have for video. I mean, you can even do something like YouTube as far as video, right? Or you can also, once you've completed your product, let's say if it's going to be a video product, again, you can host it with YouTube. You can also host it with a free solution called Wistia. As long as your product is under, I think it's 2 gigabytes, which is a lot of information, then you can host it for free on those platforms. So those are a bunch of solutions as far as like what formats, how to get the product done, right? So now, again, we talked about interviewing an expert. We've talked about creating a product, sharing your experience. We talked about the format. Now we need to talk about what you should think about pricing your product at, and then we're also going to talk about how to create the sales material that's going to allow you to sell your product once it's created, right? So price. So again, our goal, right? We want to keep, whenever you're thinking about price, you want to keep your income goal in mind, right? So our goal is $50 to $100 per day. Now, for your first product, I recommend pricing your first product. Um, and most front end products between $1 and $10. Again, especially if you're in the beginning stages, pricing it lower than higher will definitely get you a higher response rate. Typically, people will be able to convert into sales a lot quicker, which will obviously, you as the product owner, you just want to start to get sales. You want to start getting cash flow in your system, because as the business owner, we're going to talk about sales funnels in a second. That when someone becomes a customer, this is not exactly where they stop, right? This is not where you're going to make the whole $50 to $100 per day. You're going to make that in your sales process, your sales funnel. Like, what are you going to offer them next? What are you going to upsell to them? What are you going to promote to them on the back end, right? We're going to talk about all those elements, and this is how you get to your goal. So again, as far as pricing is concerned, I recommend getting pricing your product at $1 to $10 your first time or your first few times around, because of the fact that again, your job as the product creator or the business owner is to get as many people in the door as possible, and usually creating that first sale is the hardest and sometimes the most expensive. So you want to just figure out a way to get the person in the quickest. And you're going to let your sales funnel take care of the rest. Allow your sales funnel to be able to help monetize the lead more, so that obviously you're making more than you're spending to acquire this customer, right? But the name of the game for you is you want to start building that customer list, building that buyer's list, because your buyer's list is going to be your most strongest asset. Typically, in my training or in my tracking, I've seen that my buyers list outperforms my freebie seekers list by 20 times. It produces 20 times the revenue that a freebie seeker list. So this is why it's vitally important, right? So getting to this $100, $50 to $100 per day, the first goal that I want to set for you is we want to get you your first 100 customers. Right, because let's just say we're selling a product for $1 to $10. If we get, let's say if we're selling at $10, and we're not even going to talk about the upsell process and the back end process yet, but if we're selling at $10 and we get 100 customers in a single month, then we're at $1,000, right? So again, we're at 1/3 of our goal, depending on the high end of our goal. And we're like 75% of the way there if we're looking at the lower end of our goal, right? And that's not even talking about the sales funnel, the upsells back end. This will help you get there, right? This will help you get there and get past, break through that revenue goal, right? So again, our first goal for you, Sherman, is to get you to your first 100 customers. So again, so we've talked about the format, we've talked about the pricing. Again, we're going to come back to the sales funnel in the back end. Our goal for you is to get to 100 customers. And everybody watching this training, your first goal, initial goal, is obviously get your first customer. And once you get your first customer, your next goal should be, focus on getting 100 customers in a single month, right? Work towards that. Work towards that, right? So next, what we're going to talk about is the sales letter.
Ryan?
Yeah, you're still with me?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The first 100 customer, meaning the first 100 who bought the front-end product?
Yeah, the front-end product.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so this is where we're going to focus. We're going to focus on 100 unique customers, right? Getting 100 people to purchase our front-end product. And sometimes, again, we may change what our front-end product is, or we might find something that converts better, which is what I'm going to talk about right now when we get into sales letters. So before we get into sales letters, I think that I skipped a step, is we want to think about, what is going to be the direction of our product. How do we get people enticed to want to purchase our product, and are we even focusing on the right topic, right? So we're going to talk about the topic for our product, because even if you're interviewing an expert, you want to figure out, what's your first question should be asking, what's selling in the marketplace. And you're going to use that information to start creating content based around that. So, right, let's just say that we go out and we do our research, which we're going to do it right now. I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I'm trying to create or trying to figure out what topic that I want to create a product around. Is number one, obviously, I want to find out what's already selling in the marketplace, because that's the direction I want to shape and mold my product. So let's just say that I found out that every single person is releasing a product based on Facebook marketing, or everybody's, what's selling right now really well is a product about CPA marketing. Then I want to start like tailoring my content to fit that, right? Even if it's to go against that, right? Go against the grain. What I mean by that is, let's say that everybody and their mom wants to know about the latest, greatest Facebook marketing strategy. And that's what I see the people that is selling the fastest in our marketplace. If I wanted to create something different, then maybe my sales letter and maybe my sales material is going to talk about why Facebook is bad, why you should be avoiding Facebook, and here is the next solution that you should actually be focusing on. You should be focusing on this, right? Because again, as a marketer, we want to enter the conversation our prospects are already having in their head. Right? So if everybody's talking about Facebook, and let's say our product is different, we still can use Facebook as an angle. We're just going to get them to reframe their thinking on why this is the best solution to thinking that our idea is the best solution. That we're going to point out all the flaws of why Facebook wouldn't work or why you should avoid this thing. And we're going to position, our solution as the best solution, right? Does that make sense? Cool. Does that make sense, Chairman?
Yes, yes.
All right, for sure. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is because we're going to start with the Warrior Form as a solution for our product to get it visible and seen quickly by people who are interested in buying products. Again, what I suggest everyone doing is go to the place that you're going to be selling the products, right? So, wherever you're looking to sell your products at, where these people are having conversations, go to that place to figure out what people are talking about, what people are looking for, where they're missing, right? Because again, it all goes back to solving a problem, right? Solving one single problem. So what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to go to warriorform.com and also go to Warrior Plus, and we're going to look at some of the conversations that people are having. We're going to look at some of the products that are selling well, why they're selling well, and that's going to help us start to formulate ideas to create our sales letter around, and it makes the process a lot easier. So let me head over to warriorform.com. Give me 1 second. All right, so we're here on WordForm, and this is basically what I do. The first thing I like to do is obviously like to go to what where people are selling products, right? So I'm going to come here. I'm going to look at some of the things that are selling currently. Um, Selling currently on WordForm. I'm also going to go to discussion and see what people are talking about, what are you anxious to learn about. And then we're also going to look at some of the sales numbers and sales volume from other products that are related to the WordForm, and we're going to come up with a solution onto on how to angle our sales letter to appeal to the most amount of people possible in our marketplace. All right, so I'm just going to click through here. And don't worry, I'm not going to click through all of them. I'm just going to skim through some of this stuff. All right. And my computer's taking a second. All right. All right, so we see an affiliate profit method. So I'm going to write some of this stuff down. We saw an inner circle offer. Sustainable passive income. And again, I like to pull out some of the things that I see in the headlines, what people are looking for, or what people are saying. High income. This is funny. Finally reach your financial freedom with no investment. I love that, right? But again, that was something that was advertised as a step-by-step system. All right, so people are looking for this is like a copy paste solution, right? So done for you. All right, cool. So it looks like I've seen enough. Again, so I'm just scrolling through the first page. I'm going to go back to the discussion. We're going to look at the discussion, and then we're going to jump over to what's actually selling and look at the numbers. So again, I like to look at the questions that people are asking. Is online marketing effective? Right? Free traffic. All right. Increase sales. So I mean, by now most of you guys get the picture of what exactly I'm doing. So again, I'm looking at the conversations, right? So someone looking for a simple plan to make 450 a month. All right, cool. So last thing that I do is I go to Warrior Plus, and I just look at what's actually selling, right? Because sometimes what people are talking about and what's actually selling sometimes a little bit different, right? So easier than Fiverr. Remember, I talked about positioning something uh, that people were talking about. People were talking about Fiverr on the Warrior Forum, and this person is positioning their solution as better than Fiverr. You see how they did that, Sherman?
Yes, yes, I see.
Discover how it generated $60 to $80 a day with a complete.
Sorry about that.
In the next 2 minutes, I'm going to.
So people are looking
Ryan?
at. Yep, go ahead.
We are not only looking for a problem that we can solve. Also, we are looking for areas that are of interest at the moment.
So a couple different things that we're doing right now. We're looking at what's selling for two reasons. Number one is if we have expertise in that area, then we can obviously create a product in that, right? So let's just say that we see that right here on Warrior Plus, the top products right now. I think this person was talking about CPA marketing. This person was using CPA marketing. This person is selling a product on CPA done for you campaigns, right? CPA marketing, CPA marketing, CPA marketing. That's right. So like the first thing we want to do is if we find something that's selling well that we have an expertise on, we want to position that, create a product based around that, right? So we can pretty much see that what's actually selling right now is a lot of CPA related products. So again, like let's say if you had expertise on CPA, then you can create your product based around CPA marketing. Or number two, you can create a product by interviewing an expert who maybe have expertise in that particular field, right? Does that make sense? So,
Yes.
that would be something that would be your next step is like, okay, if I find what's selling well, um, so there's two reasons how I look at it. I look at what's selling well. Also, I want to know why is it selling well. What's the reason why people are looking at CPA, right? And that sometimes boils down to the fact that it could boil down to the fact, again, this is me speculating, that they haven't found something that's consistently making them money every single day. So they're looking for something that they feel will help them, right? Because if traditional affiliate marketing hasn't got them to where they want it to be, maybe this other new form of marketing, or maybe this other form of marketing that is becoming more popular and more talked about, is where they should be focusing on, right? So technically you could create a product on like how we're doing, where we're creating a product on how to make $50 to $100 per day. Again, I think a lot of people focus on using CPA as an example. I think people focus on CPA because they just want a vehicle that's going to produce daily money. It's not necessarily that they actively want to become the world's best CPA marketer. They're just tired of failing, right? You know what I mean? So there's two ways that I look at it. You can create the product based on what the real issue is, right? The real issue is, they need to make money every single day, which is what we're doing with this product, is coming up with the blueprint to get to $50 to $100 per day. Or obviously the easiest way is to look at what's selling and create a product based on what's selling, right? So let's say that you interviewed a CPA expert like myself, and we created a product about CPA marketing. Then, you know what I mean? That's directly addressing the issue, or addressing what's selling, right? So number one is address what's selling, right, and sell that. Number two is look at the root issue and solve that problem, right? Because with both models, you're going to have success. I think what will sell the fastest is people want to buy what they want to buy, right? So again, if CPA is selling well, I would say that it would be easier and you would have less resistance to sell something that people are already looking to buy, right? This one takes a little bit more sophistication and understanding the market. However, I think that as a product creator that you should think about both of these angles. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly.
All right, cool. So for those of you guys who are watching right now, if you're watching, again, we see that CPA is one of the most popular topics. We come here to the last 30 days and see what's selling. So things about targeted traffic, we see CPA arbitrage, right? CPA income explosion. I think this was about CPA marketing, if I wasn't mistaken. Oh, okay, it's something different. Again, but a couple of these products were about that, right? So again, we could tailor our sales layer and our sales information to talk about CPA marketing. We can create a product based on that, or again, we can look at the root issue of that. Is most people want to be a CPA marketer. Number one, with CPA marketing, you get paid weekly, so faster money. It's something new. I'm going to put that in quotes. Obviously, CPA marketing has been around forever. However, traditionally, most newbies or people who are not having success weren't even allowed to enter a CPA network, right? This was really reserved for people who were killing it and having a lot of success. So now it's becoming more accessible. So it appears to be something that's a new conversation, right? And people are always looking for the next shiny object, right? So again, we can address either what's selling now and sell that, or look at the root issue of the problem. So with this particular course, again, because we're using this as an example, with this particular course, we're looking at the root issue, and we're giving you as the customers a solution to that root issue, helping you guys solve that problem, which is how to create daily cash flow, right? So that's the focus of this product. Is product creation gives you that daily cash flow, so you don't even necessarily have to think about, oh, I need the next best thing. When product creation is something that will last forever, it will always be here. It's always a model that you can monetize. So now that we know that, again, we know what we're going to talk about. So even if we're going to interview an expert, we want to push the direction of the conversation towards these two things. Look at what's selling right now, so that the questions that we ask are geared toward getting them to talk about a specific topic or a specific piece of their business, or looking at the root issue and solving that, right? So let's say if I was interviewing an expert on internet marketing, and again, I know the root issue of everyone's problem is how do I make money every single day? The types of questions that I would ask this person is like, okay, cool. Can you explain, exactly how you're making cash every single day? How are you generating sales every day? How are you generating leads to make those sales? What type of monetization strategies are you using to meet your daily income goals? How are you monetizing that data? How are you? What are you doing on the back end to maximize your earning potential? Right. So all the questions that I'm asking this person are geared towards one of those two things. So now we're going to talk about how to create a sales letter. It's a lot easier than most people think. Copywriting in general is something that a lot of people struggle with. And if you're like an English professor or you majored in English, you're probably not really going to get copywriting down too well. And that's because of the fact that a lot of good copy breaks traditional what would be considered correct grammar. So copywriting is very conversational. You want to think about copywriting, the words that you create to help sell your course, as almost like you're having a one-on-one conversation with one particular type of person. So when you go into writing your sales material, I want you to first envision or see exactly who you're speaking to. Right? So again, we're speaking to, depending on what type of audience we're targeting, we want to figure out exactly what we're talking to. Are we talking to a white woman, a black woman, a man? How old is this person? What do they do for a living? Why are they looking for this solution? We want to start to ask ourselves all those questions. And basically what we come up with when we get the answers to those questions is something that we call a customer avatar, or ideal customer avatar. Right? And again, we're going to focus our letter on speaking to one specific type of person, so that the people who are like that person raise their hand, purchase from us, and the people who are not ideally going to be our best type of customer are repelled from our sales message, or are just not sucked in and compelled to purchase from us, right? Because again, we want to sell to the right person. We don't necessarily just want anybody to be our customer, because if you're going for that, you're going to get headaches, right? People are going to annoy you. People are going to piss you off. You're going to have customer support issues. You're going to have refund issues. You're going to have so many different issues. Again, so just get crystal clear on who exactly you're speaking to. So go ahead.
Ryan?
Go ahead.
Customer avatar, is that the same as demographic?
Yeah. For the most part, it's exactly the same. So like the type of person, right? So demographic, all a demographic is like what makes up that person. What is the physical makeup of that person? What type of things they're interested in? What's their finances like? All that stuff that makes up a demographic are the same things that make up an avatar, right? So
I see. Okay.
yeah, so you can use them interchangeably. However, when you think about demographics, um, demographics usually apply to a group of people, right? So if I'm marketing to a demographic, I'm marketing to a group of people. Well, when you're creating a sales letter, you want to speak to one person, like you're writing a letter to a friend. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I didn't use that language. But I mean, mentally, it's kind of the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly.
All right, cool. All right, so sales letter creation. We're going to talk about this now. I recommend everybody go get Ryan Dice's. He has a sales letter template for a tripwire offer or like a small information product out there that he created. I'll try and post a link to it under this video. But it's a simple sales letter format that you can use and model and pretty much take into any niche market that you want to. But I'm just gonna go off the top of my head and I'm gonna explain all the elements that a sales letter should have. And again, most of you guys have read enough sales letter. If you purchase this product, then or any product, you've probably already read enough sales letters to figure out how they work exactly. But I'm just going to go through it. So here are the components that make up a pretty decent sales letter that can sell just about anything. Is you're going to have a headline, right? So with your headline is going to address what the sales letter is going to be about. Right? And I recommend everyone get what's called a swipe file. A swipe file is simply a collection. You can either purchase these or you can create them yourself. It's basically a collection of winning advertisements, right? So if you find an ad that works, basically I want you to save it to a folder that you call swipe file so that you can go back to it and refer to it and use information or swipe parts of sales material that you've seen work, right? So as far as headlines go, again, basically all you're going to do is you're introducing what the sales letter is going to be about. So most of you guys have seen the traditional old school sales letter Discover, the hidden secrets the gurus don't want you to know about. Right? You guys have seen those, right? Again, I recommend you guys collecting swipe files because you can go back to them and start to use old pieces of marketing material. And I have a bunch of swipe files. I have swipe files to ads that go all the way back to like the early 1900s or the late 1800s, actually, of different sales material that's actually worked. So like stuff like they all laughed at me. Right, so this is like a famous and I'm paraphrasing it. They all laughed at me when I did X, right? They all laughed at me when I sat at the piano, but when I started to play, da da da, right? So again, this could be something that you use, right? This is this headline is like 75 years old, right? So let's just say, again, I had this headline in my swipe file. Then I could create something like they all laughed at. right? Something like, again, this is me thinking off the top of my head. They all laughed at me when I said CPA marketing was dead, but when I showed them my stats, da da da, right? Or they all laughed at me when I said um, getting free traffic was impossible, right? So again, the importance of the swipe file is, again, you'll be able to look at things of existing headlines, existing pieces of copy that have worked before, and then you'll be able to pull that stuff into your sales letter and have something that you know someone has already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars testing to find out if it works or not, and then you can apply that to your marketing and come up with something that wins straight out of the gate. So again, I recommend having a swipe file. So again, your first element that you're going to have in your marketing is a headline. There's a couple other pieces that you can have. You can have something that goes before the headline. So some people have pre-headlines, right? So maybe you give like a call to action before, or you say something like this, attention. Right, because you want to think about, like, with a sales letter, you only have like less than 20 seconds to catch someone's attention. So you can say something that gets people attention right before you start your sales letter. Attention, anyone looking to right. So something like this. Attention, anyone looking to make a consistent income in 2015, right? And then obviously going into your headline, they all laughed at me when I said getting free traffic was impossible, but when I showed them my stats, da da da, right? So the next piece of your copy is going to be the introduction, right? So again, you're introducing. There's two things that you can introduce. Obviously, you can introduce yourself, why you're speaking to them, why they should listen to you, or you're introducing the problem, like what the problem is, right? So I recommend starting with introducing like the problem subtly. So again, you're not fully just starting out like here's the problem, right? You're just going into right. So I usually start with introducing the problem through a story about myself, how I stumbled, or how I noticed that this thing was a problem, right? So your first thing you want to have is a story, going into like how you found out that this thing was a problem for you, right? Or how this thing has been a problem for you in your life or in other people's life, right? So you're going into the story. You're going to hit on the problem, right? This is where you hit them for real. What the problem is, address the problem. Next, after you introduce the problem, and again, obviously, I'm sorry, I want to go back with the story again. Either somewhere in your introduction or in your story, you're obviously you're going to want to explain who you are, why you're addressing them, and why they should care. All right, so we talked about the problem. And again, obviously, I'm dumbing this sales letter down, showing you guys how to put this together. We're going to go into the solution. So again, obviously, with the problem, you're going to talk about what the problem is, how bad the situation got for you. You're going to go into the solution. Now, before you go into the solution, what I like to insert here right before the solution is after things got bad, like what changed? how did you start to move forward toward this positive solution? Like what changed? Something, what was that one traumatic event, or what was that one single event that changed it all for you, right? So what changed? Then we're going to offer the solution. We're going to tell them what we're offering them. Right, and when I'm telling them what I'm offering them, I'm most times I'm telling them, here's exactly what you're gonna get, right? So I'm gonna just even say that. And the next thing, we want to give them calls to action. Here's how to get it. After we tell them here's how to get it, we want to make sure that we're specific in everything that we do, right? People follow direction and leadership. Especially in the sales process, you need to make sure that you're giving them specific call to actions on what to do. Here's what to do next, right? Here's how to get it. After we have gone through everything, we've explained what they're getting, how to get it, we want to reverse the risk for them. And usually how we reverse the risk is offering something like a guarantee, right? So a money-back guarantee, something that puts the risk on us instead of them. We're going to give them a call to action to get it again. After that, if we have any testimonials or proof, we're going to insert that here. And then we're going to give them another call to action to get it. We're going to close out the letter by summarizing everything, by quickly summarizing everything that we've said so far. And then again, we can give them one last call to action, depending on how long you want them to make the sales material. Again, most of you guys have seen how a sales letter works. And again, this course is not about how to create a sales letter. This is how to get to $50 to $100 per day. So again, there's obviously training out there on sales letters. Again, if you're stuck, Ryan Dice has a template that you can follow. Dan Kennedy has a book on creating the ultimate sales letter. Oh, Dan Kennedy. And again, it's called the Ultimate Sales Letter. And it's like $12 on Amazon. So I recommend obviously going to purchase that. You can learn from someone who's produced over $1 billion in sales, Dan Kennedy, right? Learn from someone who's done that. He's going to be able to explain sales letter creation a little bit better than me, right? So again, I recommend go get that, the Ultimate Sales Letter. Great book to have and reference. All right, so again, let me just summarize everything that we talked about so far. So we've talked about the game plan, right? This is your game plan to get to $50 to $100 per day. We're talking about the vehicle that we're going to be using is product creation. Product creation is going to help us because we're going to be able to start to create cash flow, on a regular basis, hopefully on a daily basis. We're actually going to start with implementing our process on the Warrior Forum. We talked about now your first product, how your first product should function. It should function by solving a problem, and mainly focus on solving one single problem that your target market has. There's two types of ways to create your first product. I recommend interviewing an expert, something similar to what this product is that we're doing right now. or sharing your experience that you've created, also something similar to what this product is, right? I'm sharing with you guys my experience on what I think or what I believe is the fastest way to get anyone to $50 to $100 per day. We've talked about the format of putting your product in. We've talked about how to price the product. We've talked about what your topic should be about, how to enter the conversation that your prospects are having in their head. We even talked about how to create a sales letter and what resources to use to go about putting that all together. So the last piece of the puzzle is the money part. And we're going to talk about sales funnels. Right? So again, our goal is $50 to $100 per day. Again, I recommend, like I said, I recommend starting your first product either from $1 to $10. So again, we recognize that when someone purchases our product, this is not where we're going to make money. Where we're actually going to start making this $50 to $100 per day is in our sales funnel, right? So the first thing we want to talk about is upsells, right? So let's say that we're selling we're selling a product from $1 to $10. The first thing that we want to do is after someone successfully purchases this product is we want to send them to another offer that we can monetize. Now, there's different types of upsells that you can create. I'm just going to talk about the easiest ones that are available for you to create. So let's just say that you're going to create some type of basic training here. Obviously, the one type of easy upsell that you can create is an advanced version of your course, right? So again, let's just say you're going to talk about basic information here. Upsell number one could be the advanced version of your course. Another type of upsell that you can create that I recommend creating is some type of done-for-you solution, right? So let's just say that if you're selling a product like how we're talking about creating the money blueprint, $50 to $100 per day, what if we had an upsell that basically coached people through it, right? And we would do all the heavy lifting for them. Maybe we created their product for them, or we created their sales funnel for them, right? You see how that would make sense, right? So basically what we want to do in our upsell process is ask what's next, right? We want to give the person the next logical solution in what we're doing, right? So again, they purchased a product here. Let's say it's about getting to $50 to $100 per day. So maybe the advanced version of this course talks about, okay, cool. Well, when you get to $100 per day, here's how to go to $100 to $500 per day, right? So an advanced version of the course slash the next step, we can have a done-for-you solution. Another type of upsell that I love a lot is speed of implementation. Right? So let's just say that our course, again, it's talking about here's how to go to $50 to $100 per day. Maybe our next upsell is, again, a speed of implementation. We say, here's how to get it done in 7 days or less, right? So again, we're taking the information that they've already gathered and we're helping them speed up the process, right? So you see how that makes sense, how that's valuable to someone? All right, cool. You see how that's valuable, my friend?
Yes, exactly.
All right, for sure. All right, so those are the three types of upsells. Actually, there's one more that I like, and it's simply a coaching upsell. So basically, what we're gonna do is position this upsell as something like, "Hey, want to work with the product creator? Obviously, I know, you just bought this product. Let me help you with this one-on-one." And again, so basically, it's a coaching upsell. So you're helping the person implement what they just learned, except they're paying you to help them implement it, right? So no matter what niche you're starting in, you can apply all of these types of upsells into your funnel, right? So now we're going to talk about the pricing of your upsells. Again, we're going to start with the warrior form. So I recommend. You can go as high as you want as far as your upsells. What I've seen typically work the best is when you kind of stay in the 3x realm. So like whatever your front end product is, not really going 3 times past that or 3x past that. Obviously, if you're selling a product for $1, I'm not talking about selling an upsell for $3. But let's just say again, you're in this product range from the $1 to $10 range, then I probably wouldn't go past $30, right, for your first upsell. Again, in our community, right, for the warrior form type of community. Again, if we're using this as an example, other situations when you're marketing to cold traffic, you can take this as far as you want. I've gone from a $1 product to a $297 upsell, and I converted 15%. I got 15% of the people who purchased the $1 product to purchase the upsell. So again, you can go as far as you want. However, you're probably going to have the highest conversions when you stay at the 3x range. So again, anything below $10, I would say just look at the $10 price and go 3 times that. So for pricing, we know in internet marketing, people have tested this, that pricing that ends in 7 converts a lot better. So the 2 prices that I would recommend if you're selling a $1 product to a $10 product is going from either a $17 product upsell, $27 product upsell, or $37 product upsell. Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
because a certain percentage is going to purchase your upsell, no matter what, right? No matter what the price. So how we start getting to the $50 to $100 per day is with our upsell products and with our back end. So again, let's just say that we're shooting for $100 per day. We can start working backwards to figure out our goal, right? So let's just say that again, we're selling a front end product for $1, and our upsell number 1, we're gonna sell this for $17. And again, it doesn't matter what it is. Again, we talked about the types of upsells. So again, it doesn't matter what we're talking about right now, what type of upsell it is. But let's just say we're just using this for numbers' sake, right? So let's even use $27. So we got our front end product. Our upsell number 1 is $27, and let's just say that we also have what's called a downsell. So again, if you guys don't know what a downsell is typically when someone says no to your offer, then you present them another offer, right? So let's just say when someone comes into our funnel, if they buy the $1 products, if they say no, then we basically give them the opportunity to get the same product for $10 off, right? So this is, you guys have probably seen this happen before in internet marketing. So I'm not going to go through that. But now we need to look at the metrics of everything, right? So let's just say that because again, we're not going past our 3x rule, that we can get, you know, we're going to use easy numbers for right now. And again, I would probably say that your upsell should convert higher than this. If you're staying in the 3x rule, it should be somewhere between 10% and 33%. I mean, it can be as high as 50% depending on what type of upsell it is. But we're just going to use 10% because it's the lowest number. So again, let's just say from our upsell numbers, we want to make 2 upsells a day, right? So if our upsell process converts at 10%, then we know that if we want to make 2 of these sales per day, that we need to get 20 customers on the front end, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right, so again, 27 times our 2 sales, right? That's $54. And we got 20 customers, right? So that's another $20, right? So if that math worked right, then on average we would pretty much get $74 for every 20 customers. Right. So again, if you want to make, this is where you're going to start making your money, right? Is the upsell process, right? And we haven't even talked about the complete back end, because this is just one single upsell, right? You can have multiple upsells, right? Let's just say you decided to add upsell number 2. And again, maybe you charge $17 for this upsell, right? Again, this is going to add to this number, right? This is only going to make what you potentially can make per day go up, right? So I recommend, obviously, as being a product creator, eventually you want to get to a point where you have a solid upsell sequence. That's going to help you automatically get there, right? Because with 20 customers a day, even with the worst upsell sequence, you could get to $100 per day pretty easily, right? So this is just step number 1, is creating the upsell sequence. And again, I've already talked about the types of upsells to create. The next step that I want you guys to consider is the back end, right? Because again, we're collecting the customer's email address. So what we're going to do in the back end is we're going to promote related offers to what they purchase. So again, and I recommend promoting instant affiliate offers. Right, so again, I would use stuff like Warrior Plus, JVZoo. Also, the second type of thing that you want to promote is other products that you create. Right, and typically, now that you're building a buyer's list with the other products you create, this is where you can start to offer, mid-ticket and high-ticket products. right? Because the first sale is about building trust with your audience, and once you've established that trust, now again they're going to be more inclined to purchase other back end products from you. So again, you can start to sell products anywhere from like $197. I mean, you can get real crazy with it to $9,997, right? Um, once you have that customer's trust, right? And this is where the magic starts to happen, right? So even if you're getting a small number of customers per day, let's say you're getting even less than 10 customers per day, because you have this a properly structured back end, you're promoting mid-ticket and high-ticket products. This is something that a lot of people call a slack adjuster, right? Because again, with one $9,997 sale, you don't necessarily need to have 1,000 customers coming in per month. Just one person purchasing this, that automatically puts your average daily income at $300 a day, right? So this is where the magic starts happening, is in the mid-ticket, high-ticket products that you offer on the back end. But again, it all starts with the front end, creating your very first product, going out there and promoting it, right? So hopefully you guys got value out of what we've covered so far. We've been on here for like an hour. Let's see how long we've been on here. We've been here on an hour and 21 minutes. Again, I didn't want to make this course past an hour and 30 minutes. So again, what I'm going to give you guys is action steps to do now. So action step number 1 is find out what's selling in your market. Step number 2 is master a skill set solves this problem in that market. Or interview an expert who already has. Record the product. Number 4 is create the sales letter. Step number 5, which is the most important, is create at least one upsell. Number 6, begin to market your product. Now for us, again, we're starting out in the internet marketing space. What we're going to do, and again, if you guys purchase the upsell that we're creating, and we're going to document a lot of this process. So what we're going to do is we're going to release this product on the Warrior Forum. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the WSO section. Now it costs $20 to put a product in the WSO section. So for us, our whole goal is just to break even, right? So let's say that our first upsell is $17. So our goal is we just want to get enough customers per day that we at least get at least one upsell per day. On our upsell product, right? So virtually, again, maybe minus $1 or $2, that every single day our ad spend is covered. So when we go to the Warrior Forum and we post our products, Obviously, we're going to come here to the Warrior Special Offer section. We're going to create a new WSO, and again, it's going to cost us $20. Now, the cool thing about the Warrior Form is that once your product is off of the first page, you can pay to have it sent back to the first page. So again, what our whole end goal would be